Hi. So another random talk of self-debate thing tonight. Um, can't even put this camera while my phone's on the charge, but so one of this was about popular belief one day versus previous beliefs and things so I'm gonna start with sex demons and succubus. Some things say that a succubus or sex demon feeds off life force and uses that to survive, but I don't know if that was traditionally right. Like, I've heard more rumors that a succubus would actually literally eat the reproductive organs, but I'm not sure about that as well, because some say that they would just torture and punish the sexually sinful in hell, um, like rape the rapist logic, and they wouldn't eat either. And if they were to eat those things, it would only be in hell, and that those beings should be able to open a portal if they actually needed to there. Um, and that some of these beings that fell for life force was people who were like not as attractive to the ones they wanted to be, wanted to live longer than they should because they were friends with something that made a bad decision and did this spell so they could stay younger, which meant by extension they would steal the youth or steal this or that. So I'm not 100% sure what the real one is, because God would realistically never let anyone have to eat or siphon the life force to survive. If he found out, he would change it. It reminds me of a story I read once. If you're familiar with the show Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, right? You've seen those freezer-looking aliens that can make the energy. Some of the rumors I heard about that is that those in the origin were children or teenagers usually, who refused sex with a fallen angel or demon who was like a pedophile or rapist. So they did horrible things and they experimented on them and they raped them in the asshole at the same time because they were trying to make something and punish it for not having sex with them, by extension um, having to do it one day, but they didn't know how to and they weren't able to. Um, and so the actual tail on Frieza is actually an imprint of the fucking dick of the demon or fallen angel that raped them blatantly, pardon my French, as an imprint growing, which is when they start to heal. And the way they do it means they're going to create energy. If they figured out how to do it in the way to take energy, which is not something anything should do naturally, demon or not, because it's never going to be allowed, as opposed to like maybe blood, which was a little bit different set of rules. I'm not sure about that 100%. And someone met someone that was at that once, and they once actually figured out how to do it. But God and the gods found out, and they're like, I'm going to stop you right there because that's how you know child of one of that one, or so I am, this person said. So they fixed that and compensated them and took them and gave them this or that. And this particular person was like, they have no right to do this, they have no right to do that, they shouldn't be such a big cleaner, make everything they did messy. But this one, in order to learn the values of the land and the earth and the life and the way people live in comparison to them, they chose, like, I want to live a life as a mortal, to learn and understand how they do it. And they spent like 5 or 30 years scrubbing a pot as a man, until they could get it completely clean, like some of these people do in 1 or 2 nights. And they say, these people are this or that, they're just this or that. But some of those people are more skilled than you realize to be able to scrub a pot. And like this one, they could not fucking handle it at first. Their hands basically started bleeding and it hurt. And they're like, how do these people do it so easy? You know what I mean? That's so cool of them. How fucking awesome are they for being so good at that? Like, imagine if they were us. Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. What else was I going to talk about? I might have to freeze a video and see what I wrote down in my notes, but I sent to my brother because my notes app doesn't work on the rest of this. Um, there's a few other stories I was going to write down. Oh yeah, one of them was based on a story about Egyptian gods and how they came to be the ones we know today and this or that. Some says a lot of these beings were quite evil at first, and they had the ultimate space and dimension, and they would usually get children, take children. It's kind of like the Sar story, in that Baldur's Gate as well more. They usually kidnap these people or children that have this natural blessings or abilities and power in life, and they'll be like, come here and you have to work for us, but tell no one else what you're doing, and this or that, or blah blah blah, and we'll give you powers, we'll give you this or that. Like, stop right there, because that's how much they're stealing and doing horrible things and tormenting these children as undead things and this or that, and doing horrible things and stealing this or that to stay younger. So someone's descendant was going to do this, and they found out and followed them, and they didn't tell them, but they followed them anyway, and they went there, and they also saved this child and this or that from this situation too. And basically, there's a bunch of evil gods, and they claim to be good, but they try to use this light to blind their enemies, and they try to do this or that and kill them. And when they did this, they released like a lion that was trapped there or something, whatever it was, and they had tried to erase that child's knowledge or existence of them from history. And there was like all these bird beings and this being or that being, and they're like, well, I have my strength stolen on the way here. I gave one to this one and that one, so I'm so weak and pathetic right now that I can't do it. But they still managed to fight, and they still managed to beat these other ones, and someone showed up and helped too, but they were at a little bit of a disadvantage, and they managed to beat all of this or that one. And they said, you were actually kind, so you can stand on the podium now and do this or that. And they managed to beat all of these ones, and they put these ones back in power and this and that, who were originally thought to be these bad ones too. It reminds me of certain stories and other laws about how can be all interested as to which one is a good one and bad one. Like some stories say Medusa was a wicked evil being, but some stories say in the origin that Medusa was cursed for her beauty, because it's another similar situation to the Freezers, because Medusa was a beautiful woman by the beach. She believed Athena was good. She believed in doing this. She believed in that. And some rumors say Athena names some of her descendants Athena too. But some of these stories, I don't know if it was Athena specifically or not, but Athena was in love with Poseidon in this story. So what happened was, she was so beautiful, this or that, that Poseidon wanted to sex her, wanted to lay with her and have sex with her. And so she was like, I don't know you, I don't want to have sex with you, I want this other man, or she might have been lesbian, I don't fucking know. And when she did this, he got mad, so he turned on her, and he assaulted her, and he raped her. And some stories say that all the other gods joined in, and they raped and molested her. And she managed to escape, like without the curse, she managed to evade the curses and escape. And she went to the temple of Athena because she worshipped and revered Athena. And she told Athena, and Athena appeared, and she told her what happened. And Athena turned around and was like, oh my god, I love Poseidon. Poseidon's not loving me back, or Poseidon won't date me or do anything like this back. Fuck you for being prettier than them and getting the man I want. Whether or not it's a real story, whether or not Poseidon and that curse on the side of the room, or whether or not Athena was bad too. And so they essentially, in this story, they turned around and they cursed her, not to be ugly or hideous, but they cursed her by her own beauty, so that her beauty was so horribly corrupt, so that her beauty was so intensely perfect that any man who laid eyes upon her would turn to stone, and she would never, no one would ever be able to gaze on her beauty, because Poseidon had wanted her when she didn't want them, and like beings up beneath us and this and that. And they were known to do horrible things and pillage and rape and do these horrible things to children. And in some stories, Zeus was no exception to this rule. Like, he was known to cheat, he was known to rape, he's raped men, he's raped women, and he was known to do this, that, and horrible things. He's even tried to rape some other cultures' gods' children, or this or that as well, and curse them too. And some rumors say that in order to stay stronger and this or that, he will even steal the power from the younger ones before they know it and rape them, and steal the power from these other ones to stay enthroned and stay so strong, as well. Whether it was him or not, or another being, I don't fucking know, because there's stories, it's not like I was there. But yeah, so he does this or that, in some rumors, which is this big, horrible thing in a situation. And sometimes he'll curse them for being this or that. Sometimes some stories say he went to his wife, I believe her name was Hera, and some stories say that she would turn around and be like, how dare you cheat with him, or this or that. Some stories say she would condone them, and she would give this or that because she was scared of Zeus. Some stories say she turned around and did what Athena did in the story, and cursed them for denying them, or cursed them for having been denying them, or cursed them for doing this, or cursed them for doing that as well, and to being horrible things, as well too, which is kind of interesting stories and theories. But you never know, some of them are cursed to be ugly, some of them are cursed so that every bit of strength and muscle they gain and everyone life from their line. Because when Medusa was turned, the curse spread to her sisters too. Some of them means these people, they'll heal back to get beautiful, but Zeus and these other, I'm going to say Zeus and these other gods will, from the curse, drain their beauty, and all their strength and all their muscles and this or that will also disappear and go back into the line of the evil rapist being, whoever that was too. So that one's going to be constantly sitting there getting stronger, but they're stealing all of it, and it's just because they did this or that. And some stories say one of them found out about this, and that the rumors that Zeus provides over Olympus is not true, and that they say is almighty thunder. But you see in the shows that he throws thunderbolts down from a satchel that they forge from powers in the stars and skies. That's because they managed to trap one like the wizards, and it wasn't actually his power, because he can't do the thunderbolts without grabbing them here or there. Whether or not it's a true story, I don't know. And this one found out and they got so pissed, and they were also in a weak state because they usually steal this one and their energy and feed off of them and steal them and this and that. But the rumor that they steal their strength, and they found out and they got angry, and they got into a fight. They also tried to split this being into multiple beings and do this like that too. And for being raping the people and looking down on the people and doing these horrible, horrible things to the people, they kicked them from Olympus and they locked the gate on them. So they're trying to constantly get someone else to find the key to open the gate to let them back into that world as well. It's kind of interesting theory. So this person kicked them out of there in the theory as well. Some rumors say that some of these beings could be related to Cersei, like in the Avengers theory too, as well. I'm not sure if that's the right one, because she was apparently known to turn men into pigs with alchemy on the island, but, you know, some versions say Hecate's bad, some say Hecate protects the men, women, and children. Some versions say that Nyx look like this or that. Some versions say Nyx has weird Scarlet Witch powers, some say they don't. Some say not. You know, when I see the Scarlet Witch, I see that she could be using extremely fast, using a spear and a boomerang, which is interesting. I've read stories of some beings being older than the Earth, or older than some of the Earth, or older than nature, and older than the ants. And some beings say, I've heard stories of, like, you know, the ants' creation when the ants were created, and actually being older than the ants, and older than, like, you know, they were created with Mother Nature as mother and son and equal. But some versions say nature became wrathful, some say they didn't, but they're still mother and son, so I don't know what version that is. Yeah, and they were older than the ants. And the original ants created were the red ones, or this or that. And some say that some ants are created further down the line because they created butterflies. But the butterflies were too dangerous, so they split the butterflies into three. One of them was the butterflies we see today, which is the weakness and the energy mixed together. And one of them was a certain kind of black or bull ant. And I can't remember what the third part they split the butterflies apart from was. But these red ants were originally the same size as humans. And they were instructed, and they hid these ants as tiny ants on the earth. But this being associated with Ezekiel, or something with Ezekiel, is still completely capable of turning these ants into full-size people soldiers, and there'll be thousands of them around the earth. Like, they'll just be full-size red ants. But they were actually so powerful, and they were the strongest that have been created out of all these people's creations at that point in time. Because Ezekiel was like this warrior-esque, almighty being as well, which was kind of interesting. And kind of fun, but, yeah. Hold on a sec.